Have you ever wondered why Hearts of Iron 4 is so damn popular? Like, take a look at these charts with me for a second. Among Paradox's library of currently supported grand strategy titles, and let's look at the nearest weekend player numbers here, ranging from Victoria 3's respectable 9,000 concurrent players to Europa Universalis 4's 23,000, Crusader Kings 3's 26,000, and Stellaris' 28,000. Hearts of Iron 4 towers over all of them with a staggering 60,000 players and then some, meaning that HOI4 is twice as popular as the second most popular title. But why is this the case? What has Hearts of Iron 4 done that makes it arguably history's biggest and most popular strategy game? Now I know what you're gonna say. Andy, it's because of the LARPers, the hentai lovers, and the My Little Pony dweebs, okay? It's not that deep. Now I agree that it's not that deep, but I don't think it's that simple. On the contrary, I believe the answer hides right there in plain sight, with Hearts of Iron's 4 central, integral, and wholly unique feature, the focus tree. Because there is so much more behind this focus tree than what you might see. To the untrained eye, the focus tree is more or less a path of choices you take on your path forward, and you might even say that it takes away from Hearts of Iron 4's sandboxiness. In reality though, it's so much more. Hearts of Iron 4's focus tree is genius because it at once manages to make a vast and unpredictable game feel like it has structure, while at the same time presenting us with historical paths and the believable alternatives to them. This might sound a bit strange if you are a grand strategy player. I've been one since the early 2000s, and neither in the early Total War games, or indeed neither with CK2 nor the beginning of EU4, did any of these games have quote-unquote storylines or missions that followed you throughout the game. Because contrary to the popularity of focus trees, the core of a classic grand strategy experience is the sandbox. It is your ability to more or less do what you want as long as you are capable of it. So how does the focus tree still work in a setting that's usually so open? First of all, let's not forget that Hearts of Iron 4 takes place during a relatively short time span, not much more than a decade, and in such a time span, it probably feels a bit more right than elsewhere, to have what amounts to policies being enacted every so often. And for purely gameplay reasons, it's fun to have something to activate every now and then. However, as a lover of sandbox strategy games, I can't help but think that the true genius is exactly that Paradox managed to create a sandbox which, despite firmly putting us within a box this time, feels like it makes so much sense. It's no secret that humans often tend to enjoy fewer options and be guided rather than figure out everything on their own. It's just part of basic human psyche. Despite Hearts of Iron, completely without its focus trees by the way, allows you to play the game, as in build up your nation, manufacture war goals and casus belli, do diplomacy and so on. The focus tree is what gives the game its flavor, easily dispatched through descriptions, beautiful icons, and the effects they give. Together with time passing by, it's what makes it feel like you're advancing through the different stages of this time period, and on a more or less realistic schedule as well. I believe that despite Paradox letting us do whatever we want, the fact is that most people either want to reenact history, make the opposite of what happened happen, or roleplay as their own nation and do what that nation historically never managed to do. These are probably more or less the majority factors in a play, despite of course there existing many more motives for choosing a nation to play as, and as such, giving us tailored yet exciting paths that open up new storylines or cool situations as we go, which of course accompany how we choose to play, is in my opinion a stroke of genius. Let's take it a step further too. I think the reason Hearts of Iron 4 offers so many massive and successful mods is exactly because of the focus trees. It allows modders to fairly easily simulate and tailor different situations via these story paths, which more or less immediately immerses the player, but also allows them to see from the get-go which fun paths they can take on a future playthrough. The focus tree was so good and so successful that Paradox more or less ported this feature to Europa Universalis 4, their at the time second or arguably most popular game back in like 2017. They're called mission trees in EU4 of course, and they work a bit differently there. Instead of opening up from the get-go, EU4's mission trees require you to accomplish certain goals before giving you their bonuses. And despite being important and providing various good stuff, they were and arguably still remain non-essential to the core gameplay experience. However, today, they have become so popular and so well made that they kind of are a part of what constitutes an EU4 playthrough now, and I think that speaks to their appeal. I mean, in a world as vast as EU4's, which stretches over centuries, no wonder you're going to want something that feels like it's gluing things together. I think the magic sauce here, whether we're talking HOI or EU4, is that we all crave a good story. Crafting one on your own can be hard, and in a setting where every path is open to you, I don't blame you if you feel a little directionless after 10, 20 or perhaps 50 hours. But if you have a path that tells you, hey, if you go over here and do this, you don't have to by the way, but if you do, we're gonna reward you. And we're gonna tell you why we reward you. It adds a lot of incentive, and if you do get a kick out of reenacting history or accomplishing a grand feat that was never achieved in real life, getting that focus unlocked and a nice event window popping up telling you that you did, that's a massive dopamine boost right there. Imperator Rome had missions too, but did its own spin on things. There, you selected between missions that fit your current progress in the game, and the missions allowed you to once again take various paths down historical or ahistorical routes. Victoria 3 has something similar through their journals of course, although it's not exactly the same, but it does resemble the mission system as well. The only historical Paradox series which has yet to implement a focus tree or a focus tree like mission system is Crusader Kings, and do you know why that is? Well, I'd say it's because CK is so focused on people, whereas every other game is much more tailored to controlling the state or nation, that it simply would not fit the same way. Indeed, there is no player who plays the Kingdom of France in Crusader Kings 3, there is only the King of France, and he does not share power. But it does have a lifestyle tree, and this is CK's version of the focus tree. Centered around character growth, the lifestyle tree is there to direct each character in one or more ways, allowing you to see which bonuses will be available to you down the line. Historical characters even begin with their own lifestyle skills already available, like in the case of Harald Hardrade, who's formally gone down the path of the warrior when you begin the game. Even though you can technically choose other paths for him here on out, that bonus to further martial skills due to his education is tempting, and in a lot of ways is meant to push you in a more or less historical direction. That ends of course when the first character is out of the way basically, but still, the lifestyle tree is there to put certain guardrails around your roleplay, even though they can of course always be tested and in some cases broken. CK2 also has lifestyles of course, even though they came a bit later, but they are much more in focus in CK3, no pun intended. There's been some debate around the inclusion of mission trees or nation-specific structured content in EU5, with some goobers believing that mission trees take away from the sandbox, but with what looks like the vast majority feeling like mission trees are essential to the experience. And you know, I think I understand them. As I've tried to convey in this video, I think Paradox's focuses and missions speak to us, the players, at a deep level. We love the fantasy of a sandbox, and for all intents and purposes, the games remain sandboxes. But we cannot deny how much we love a good story too, how much we love a sense of narration and structure. It's comfortable and fun to follow a set of goals that feel believable or even remarkable, and to accomplish them is all the better when you get rewarded for it. This is where that flavor comes in, and that's where Paradox is so good at its best. That ability to immerse you into their worlds, to tailor nations so more or less every country feels unique, and instead of destroying the role-playing ability, to actually enhance it. I'm not saying focus trees or mission trees is the entire experience, far from it, but I'm not gonna lie, Paradox and the modders after them have done such an incredible job of making these missions feel like integral parts of the game and have given them such a nation-specific feel that it's hard to imagine a Paradoxian world without them at this point. And because Hearts of Iron 4 began it all, and because its focuses in fact are crucial to that experience, I think the focus tree is a big reason why exactly Hearts of Iron 4 became and remains so popular. But what are your thoughts on the topic? Let me hear them in the comments below. Remember to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers!